All right, let's look at the sectors that will benefit from the National Fiberisation Connectivity Plan. Let's talk about that. And thank you for sharing, everybody. So let's move on to the slide. Now, those of you who are not in our Telegram group, do join us. Take a picture of this TradeVSA trading ideas. Just scan this and join that group. And also, please share with your friends, those who think you will benefit. Share with your friends about this Telegram group, because all this video, all this great content about economics, about shares, about sector, about coaching, mentoring, anything that's talk about financial literacy, we want to help you. And some of the Facebook posting that I do, I'm trying to get down to the level between the universities, really enhancing their knowledge so they will start young. And some of you who have children, we should also get them into this Telegram group, because we want to start them young. I was talking early on, even in overseas, some of my nephew, as early as secondary school, they already learn about stock market and how microeconomic, more from the investment standpoint, so they will know what to do and what to invest. Do what I say this makes sense? If you do, please give me a thumbs up. All right, thanks a lot. So financial literacy, we want to start them young. Give me a thumbs up. Look about the National Fiberisation and Connectivity Plan. It first came out on August 26, where the cabinet approved 21.6 billion national connectivity. And the whole point about this is actually fall back to the Pakatan Harapan manifesto. First thing when they came out, I think you all know, right, was to bring down the broadband cost and really try to increase the penetration of the broadband in Malaysia. I think many of you who are listening from maybe outstation, from rural area, not so much from the Klang Valley or Penang or the Johor, you probably have the high-speed broadband, HSBB, and that's not really a concern. But the concern is outside of the rural area, and the minister in here, communication minister in here, working with MCMC, is trying to address this low penetration so far that we have. Now, if you look at it, the main thrust of it is connect Sabah and Sarawak. At the end of it, it's really driven more from a political standpoint, from making Malaysia as a digital economy. I think that's very important. So at the end of the day, if you look back at, people, if someone bump into you and you want to show that you know a bit about the Malaysian policies and how much may allocated, this is definitely the video you want to watch. So NFCP talks about connectivity in for the rural area in Sabah and Sarawak, which is hugely undeveloped. Many parts of the West Malaysia has been developed, but Sabah and Sarawak has not been developed. Especially one of the visits which I done yesterday, Ray Tony talked about Balio. Right, it's almost so dense, and for the first time, I think just a few lately, they have a telephone in this very isolated place. But I'll talk about that more on Friday for this one. So far, 94% of Malaysian has already been covered. The balance is the 6%, which has not been connected. Connectivity is one thing: the telephone, the internet, the Wi-Fi, but high-speed broadband, and that's what the whole focus of this one. I think Australia is going through that. Every country who really want to develop very quickly and to connect the rural area wants to digitize their economy. They want to connect them, not with the streamings, not with the 1 megabit. That's the one that you normally hear many years ago, 10 years ago, the one with the modem, when you put the phone on the modem and you hear that sound. Not that. They want to talk about high-speed broadband. So let's review where we are. Now, if you look on the right-hand side, which is the basic unified, the price has gone down more. Used to be, I think, about 100 over ringgit. Now it's about 30 megabits per second. You're paying about 79 ringgit. Then the usual, the more popular one is the 100 megabits, which is you're paying 129. But the one that I have was a 300. And usually, those of you who do know and have 300 megabit like me, you're not getting 300 megabit. So a lot of time you get a lot of drop line, especially when you come home at around 8 o'clock to the noon time, 8 to 12 o'clock. 8 p.m. to 12 midnight. That's where the heavy usage, and you don't get that because everybody is piling up into the high-speed broadband in your home. And that's what, when you're watching Netflix or you're watching on those streaming, they are not coming in very nicely. That's where Astro still has a bit of edge in here. Now, you look back at the 7 main thrusts. Definitely one is to grow the national income, GNP, by 2020, which is actually next year. They want to fix broadband. This is one. Second, number 2. Let me just get this. Number 2 is to have all industrial area 2020 and state capital by 2030 to have gigabits. You talk about 1 gigabits per second. That's almost 1,000 megabits. 100% availability in premises in all the states and high impact area. Minimum 500 megabits per second. Right now, we are just, even the offerings that you're getting, Unify can only connect up to 300. I believe Time can do that. High-speed broadband can do beyond that. Or, I'm talking about the commercial, for the residential one. Of course, if you're talking about commercial, you can go beyond 1 gig or 2 gig. And that's why these national fiber connectivity plan are supposed to address that, to hit above the 500 for residential homes. We're talking about residential. The commercial one, the office, not a problem, because they will be paying something like $1,000 or $2,000 per month. Now look at this. This rate you're only paying 200 ringgit, correct? Now imagine if you pay 1,000, 2,000 ringgit per month to get above 1 gigabits per second. And that's not many people want to pay that, especially resident area. Do what I say this makes sense? Okay. Okay. Don't want to wait for budget 2020. Yeah. Okay, we're going to talk about what are the most beneficial one for this FNC. Okay, we're going to get down to it, but it's a bit to understand, you know, the 7 main trusts of this, the 300 in here, because the cost implication is also there. Now remember, point number 4, 20% of the availability of the premises in suburban and rural area by 500 megabits. All right, by 2020. Of course, you may want to say, hey, you know, right now at 2019, you know, very soon, another 3 more months will be 2020. I can't even get 500 megabits. Now you're talking about suburban area and rural area, 20% in there. So, of course, the government, Pakatan Harapan, really want to address this. And this is why you see Minister Gobind Singh trying very hard, working with MCMC to get this. And it has created a lot of excitement in the sectors which we're going to talk about after this. Okay, let's move on to the next chart here. Now, number 5. Now, number 5, again, the 7 main trusts. The fiber optics also covers schools, hospital, police by 2022. Now, if you look back, those areas which is outside of the coverage right here, in terms of some costing, they are going into the jungles, fixing high tower. Now, tower, there's a lot of duplication. Those of you who in the telco like me, you will know in the past, if Maxis come in, they'll build a tower. If DG come in, they'll build a tower. And then if Celcom were to come in, they build a tower. And then if U-Mobile, of course, U-Mobile is a multi-vendor operator. They're not really a telco player. Will they build a tower? No, they'll piggyback any of these 3 towers. So one of the things that you want to do now is to save costs. That's where OCK. Now you remember OCK, their job is to build tower, right? They are really going to be benefiting, but there's a lot of surplus tower in what we call the city and the suburban area. But the jungle, it's the one that you have to do a lot. So when they're going to the jungle to build, like what you see in here, to build a tower, they're not going to have 3 providers with 3 towers. It's going to have 1 tower, 3 providers, right? And who's going to connect that? I'm going to tell you later, okay? So these are the sectors of the companies which I'll talk about going to be benefiting from that. So you have 1 tower, you probably have 3 network operator inside there. You have the DG, you have the the Celcom, and you also have the Maxis. So all 3 into 1, then there's a lot of saving costs. And that's one of the things that MCMC is trying to do, is to reduce this duplication of effort, right? Again, the goals that have been set for number 6 is an average speed of 30 megabits, okay, at 98%. Currently, we have covered about 94%. We're trying to cover back all the 6% inside 2023. So if you're looking at currently, if you use the normal telephone line that you have at home, which is running on ADSL, you either have the high-speed broadband or the ADSL, which is usually called Streamix, okay? And the one everyone will follow. 1 megabit, you're paying 110 ringgit. Now compare earlier on for, I think, let's go back to the start, 30 megabits, you're paying 79 if you have high-speed broadband. But they're quite limited. Not many areas have high-speed broadband. Normally, you just look behind your house, there's a little box by TN, but if you can't get TN, you can always go for the Maxis Home Fiber, which is slightly cheaper, and you get an additional 10 megabits per second. So on the streaming part, which is a normal telephone line, which is if you are staying quite far out and a certain area, you have no choice and you have to rely on this best deal BB, broadband 1 megabit, which is costing 110. You probably argue why. But then some people may resort to having a dongle, like a DG dongle, but again, limited coverage. So government want to do this. So again, point number 7 is the Pan-Borneo Highway, which is one of the project that is going to be going. They want to connect from, I suppose, from Kota Kinabalu all the way to Kuching, if I get it right, and that's going to be cost, and that's going to be worked out over the I think the next 5 years or so. So that is going to open up a lot of the area. I think many of you do know, even Jakarta, the current capital of Indonesia, is going to be shifted over to Kalimantan. So the next frontier is going to be Sabah and Sarawak. This is where the area is going to open up, and a lot of opportunity. And point number 8 is really a bonus. Some of these new fiberization is going to support the 5G implementation, which I'm going to talk about slightly on one slide, that's all. If what I say here makes sense or not, all this, hope this is beneficial for you all. I know it's a bit dry, but I think it's important to do where I'm coming from. Do give me a thumbs up if you find that. We're going to go on to the companies that's going to benefit for it. So if you look at it, how much is going to be allocated is about 21.6 billion over 5 years or more. Anything the government do is always 5 years on, right? So why is very simple. Because if you look in terms of the correlation of, I think, the election is every 4 or 5 years. So they want to make sure if they implement the plan is already 2 years, right, which is now, and if you want to continue on, you probably have to stretch to the second term that Pakatan should be in. So that's why they want to stretch it by 5 years, right? And also it's, give them a continuation, and also the KPI can be spread out over 5, make it a bit easier. Now, we have this thing called USP, okay, called Universal Service Provider, which all telco will contribute their industry revenue, 6%. It's like a GST 6% that they actually pay to MCMC that used to fund it. So what they're trying to say, like the NFCP is coming from the telco player, which means people like you and me who use a lot of telephones and internet. So we are contributing 6% of it to subsidize the rural area. Well, that's all about tax anyway. We all know tax is actually used to subsidize for those unprivileged and the slightly lower income group. That's why you have higher tax for those who earn more and lower tax. So in the same way, it's working very similarly, the USP, Universal Service Provider. Now, who's going to fund with it? I believe is what likely will have the ratio. Government will do the 50%, the private telco will do the 50%. How much of the fund that they have from the 6%, they have to see on the government coffer, how much they have. Because this 6% and going forward too, how much are they getting? So those of you who like numbers, just go into some of these companies like Celcom, DG, Maxis, U-Mobile, and look at their total revenue and just take 6% and see how much 1 year you can contribute. I think we're talking something between the span of 100 to 200, 300 million the most that they can sort of collectively from the private telco player, and then government will try to put in. But then again, going back to budget 2020, where got money? Government also no money, right? So, but no choice. We talk about productivity. So why are they doing this? Which is my next slide. Okay, next slide is the productivity. Let me just get it moving first. That's right. Now, why the government doing this is investment and increased productivity. That is the only way driving forward. I think I talk about on the budget 2020 is the competitiveness of the country are coming down. The ease of doing business in Malaysia is still stagnant. Now, to make us more attractive, the FDI, foreign direct investment coming in, right? Because we are losing up to Vietnam, we are losing up to Cambodia. So no choice, we just have to move forward. So why the government is doing this? Because we need to increase in productivity, and one way to do that is to increase investment in infrastructure costs for communication, and we want to hit 10% in terms of broadband penetration. All right, broadband penetration in here. Currently, the high-speed broadband penetration only stand at 8%. Now, there's two figures just now I talk about, which is the coverage. One is the coverage, okay, how much they cover it. The other one is the high-speed broadband. The broadband now currently only stand at 8%, which tells you almost 90% of the people is, it's going to be in the streamings outside of it, right? So that is why the company that I visit, Redtone, in a way, it's quite excited in here because they're talking about also the T3 and also the Kampong Tamper Wire program, which is they have, and they sign up with the ministry to build that one. But more on that on Friday. So what's exciting now going forward is the 5G demo project, which actually carry on to it. So earlier I talked about this national fiberization and connectivity plan would also tied into the 5G, because everyone is very excited about the 5G. Why? Because Malaysia is one of the first country who will host this 5G in here. Now, because we are quite open, Huawei come in also no problem. I think some of the bigger European company coming in with the 5G will also accept that. So compared to the Western alliances to Donald Trump, which actually label Huawei with this 5G technology being a spying tool, they have avoided that. So guess what? Malaysia are quite lucky to get 5G demo, right? So what does this mean? This means, next time when you view your TradingView chart or you view your Robi apps, it's going to be very, very fast. I think going forward, maybe in the next 3 to 4 years coming in, and definitely cost will come down. Cost will come down, so accessibility will be available more for everybody. And the NCMC, in here the chairman is Ishak is just allocating about 116 million, which is a very small thing because they have to bring in those equipment in here. But again, this is very recent news, just 1st of October. All right. Now, National Fiberisation happened on the 26th of August. Okay, let's look at 26th of August. Now, this is the TradeVSA chart. This is the important chart. You should take a picture of this one if you want to, which is the counter that I felt has in play all in our TradeVSA. Now, if you look from this chart here, right, which I'm going to go on and tie back to the date. The date is 26th of August when it first announced. Interestingly enough, only Opcom and Redtone has movement before 26th of August. I do apologize for Axiata, you can't see it, but because of the chart drops out in here, but doesn't matter. Those of you who have the TradeVSA can go and take a look. So if you look in here, August 26th, this is the August 26th here, this wide range bar for Opcon, okay? But you notice the Pentagon already triggered here, and then 26 is this bar here. Okay, you can see the spike in the volume, but Pentagon picks it up on August 18. Now on this chart, which is OCK, remember I talked about they are the guys who are building a lot of tower. I know some of you may not invested in telco or haven't been to telco because traditionally it used to be consumer items. Telco are some of our members who are engineers, and some of you who are listening are engineers. How many of you are engineers? If you are engineers, please type 1, okay? Type 1 if you're an engineer. And then I would know engineer likes all this kind of 5G networks in here. Please do that, okay? And the engineers, please do that one. Type out. At least I know the engineers are here. So if you look here, OCK on the August 26th. Remember 26th. Now August 26th, OCK actually started move up, but the pullback hit the top. Right now, it's still here at this nice base in here, 56 cents. It hasn't gone down tremendous compared to Axiata. I think Axiata, you all know. Now, you can't see this on the right-hand side. I apologize. You see my face here, right? This is because of the DG and Axiata failed. They were supposed to merge, and it didn't happen. Now, I didn't put in DG in here because I can only put 6 charts, okay? There are a few more Maxis and DG you can put in there, but I don't think they are more of the infrastructure player. They are more telco provider, but they don't provide infrastructure. Infrastructure in here, Opcon, of course MCMC won't be buying fiber optics from Opcon, which will be the telco provider, which is TM, Axiata, will be TM, Axiata, DG, and Maxis going for that, because these are the people who will be offering the package. Of course, TM is the one that we're looking at. But if you look in terms of TM, on August 25th, it actually has a green Pentagon. That's right, it has a green, but immediately fell through. That tells you at the end of the day, the project that is coming out are not so favorable, right? In here, I can see 3 companies look very favorable: Opcon, Redtone, and OCK. So for those of you who is trading there, of course, Redtone, I will go more in depth for our members on Friday to look at these stocks. I know some of our member, Mike, I hope Mike is listening. Michael Liao is talking about, hey, can buy a Redtone. How is it going forward? But again, at this price, a bit high, you want to wait for a pullback, and of course, technical things that we normally teach in our course. Now, if you look at time.com, it has a big move, but it hasn't sort of followed through. But time.com is fully priced in. Right now, it's about $9. 920 in here. Of course, this chart is good. You can sort of take a picture with it, and you can see, get used to seeing TradeVSA chart. It's so much easier with the buy and sell indicator in there. Blue long, yellow short. All right, or yellow you exited in here. All right, like what the things I show you in the KLCI. So something you might want to consider. So looking at TM in here, just turn green Pentagon in here, but just holding sideways in here. Axiata, it's all the way down. All right, so let's look at the next one here. So a bonus for our members in here. We done the company visit on Red Tone, which is yesterday, 9 October, and this is which is actually 8th of October. I apologize for that. It was 8th of October. Thank you. And this is based on the feedback that our member want to. And what I do is I try to do a company visit once a month, and I ask the member, of course, our privileged member. So it's always good to become privileged. It's exclusive for them. So they gave me a full list of companies. So what we do, I work together with one of my partners and try to write into the companies, and they give insightful information. So that's one of the benefit, things that we normally can share, we'll share with the public, because today's talk is a public. So I will talk a little bit more on this coming Friday. Those of you who are interested in the so-called maybe